guys, today I'm going to be doing a book review on Angelology and Angelology by Danielle Trussoni. Angelology opens up with 23-year-old Sister Evangeline. Evangeline has been part of the Sisters of Perpetual Adoration since she was a young girl. She has lived her life in a mundane routine of chores and prayers. But one day, a young man named Verlaine arrives at the convent and is requesting to look at the convent's archives for research purposes. Through a series of events, Evangeline discovers that she is the daughter of angelologists. And angelologists are people who have been fighting the Nephilim for centuries. The Nephilim being the biblical fallen angels. Evangeline and Verlaine become entwined in this huge epic battle between good and evil, and Evangeline soon discovers that she has a huge part to play in this battle. You guys, I really don't know what to say about these books. I just did not like them that much. I did not rate Too Many Things 2 stars last year, but Angelology and Angelology received 2-star ratings from me. And it's not that the books are necessarily that bad. I'm having trouble kind of expressing what it is that kind of angered me about these books. Overall, the concept is a brilliant one. Both the books, and they are part of a series. I'm not quite sure how many books are going to be in this series. So far there's just these 2. But the overall premise takes place in, our modern world and dealing with the biblical fallen angels and this epic battle to destroy them. So that sounds awesome, right? These books had so much great potential, and I just don't know what went wrong. Danielle Trussoni's writing is actually very beautiful. It's very descriptive in places, and it's often very vivid and detailed. And as far as the historical aspects, because these books take place in both the modern time, and then they kind of flash back to like the 1940s, I think. And I do think for the historical aspects, Danielle Trussoni did her research. It didn't feel forced or faked, like she didn't know what the history was. As far as her writing goes, her visual things, places, scenery, imagery, just all of that was very, very well done. The history, like I said. But what wasn't done so great, which was my main problem, was her plot and her characters. And plot and characters are the big things about any novel. And because of the frame of having the modern story and also the historical story, because of that frame, the overall plot sometimes felt very chaotic. At the beginning of the novel, we meet Sister Evangeline and Verlaine, and you kind of just barely even get to acquaint yourself with them, and then all of a sudden the story flashes back to the 1940s, and you stay there for a very long portion of the book. As far as the Nephilim characters go, I was really excited to see the biblical fallen angels because they were basically kind of one of the reasons I was reading these books. One of the main angels in the story is Percival Gregory, and he's kind of basically the main villain or antagonist. And Percival had so much potential. Let me just talk about the angels or the Nephilim, whatever you want to call them. These characters should have been the big thing of this book. Sadly, I never got a great sense of who the Nephilim were. They seemed very bland and unexciting, and they should have been the total opposite of that. Like I said earlier, Trusooni excels at description. So when she was describing the angels, that was very well done. She often described the angels as having very pale skin, golden hair, multicolored wings. So you get this very evocative image of the Nephilim. But who are they? The Nephilim had absolutely no personalities, and that just sucked. Like I said, Percival Gregory was the main angelic character in this book, and he had so much potential. He should have been one of the best villains. But instead, he ends up kind of being pathetic and self-pitying and just overall boring by the end of the book. So, like I said, Trusooni, her writing's beautiful, but the plot and the character development is just massively lacking. There is this really great quote on the back of my Angelology book. I'm gonna recite this for you. It says, "Stellar, a thrill ride, best described as the Da Vinci Code meets Raiders of the Lost Ark. USA Today." USA Today? What the hell? It's comparing this book to the Da Vinci Code and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Why? I did not see that in this book whatsoever. One of the big things that is going on in this book is that the angelologists and the Nephilim are on the hunt for this particular object, and whoever has the object is basically winning the final battle between good and evil. You would think that between the angelologists and the Nephilim that there'd be all these really awesome action sequences, and none of that even happens until like the last 100 pages of the damn book. So, kind of moving on into book 2, book 2 just continues this boring dullness. Angelopolis takes place a decade after the events of Angelology. There's a lot of spoilers that I can't go into, because if you do read this series, I can't really tell you how book 1 ends, but book 2, basically Evangeline gets kidnapped at some point in this one. And I thought she was the main character, you guys. What? She's kidnapped the whole goddamn novel. And with Angelology, the historical aspects in this dealt with the 1940s, meaning World War II, and in this one, the historical aspects deal with Russia's imperial history, mostly related to the fall of Nicholas II. And like with the first book, Danielle Trussoni, in this, she really did her research in regards to Imperial Russian history and incorporating the last Romanov family. And her descriptions are beautiful once again, but the characters and the plot are so stupid and boring, and it goes nowhere, and I don't even know what to say, you guys. And once again, we get introduced to a new set of angels, and the angels are just boring once again. And sometimes I don't think Danielle Trussoni really thought through with some things. She often describes the angels as unfurling these magnificent wings and it's all beautiful. But the thing is, when she describes the angels, she often describes them as having some sort of clothes on. Thing is though, where do their wings come from if they have clothes on? So a lot of times things felt just kind of out of place and just not making any sort of sense. I guess what I'm saying, the mechanics of the angels don't make no sense half the time. Overall, these two books, I hated them. I know this whole review has so far been just one big huge long rant, and I just feel like I had to rant. My apologies to Danielle Trussoni. This is nothing against her personally. It's just the story. I just did not enjoy the story whatsoever. I think what I was expecting, because I love the Mortal Instruments and the Infernal Devices so much, and those deal heavily with angels and Nephilim. And in those books, you know, the mythology is very rich and detailed, and I have a good sense of that world. And in these books, Danielle Trussoni's books, the angel mythology just doesn't make any sort of sense to me, and it's just boring half the time. Oftentimes, while I was reading this book, I felt like Danielle Trussoni just wanted to write about angels because the idea sounded cool, and it does sound cool. Like I said, these are two books, possibly a trilogy, I don't know. You all may be wondering, if I hated the first book so much, why did I get the second? But I actually bought both of these books kind of close together. I actually got this for like $5, and then I managed to get this for full price but at 50% discount. And also, I just love this cover. This cover is absolutely gorgeous, because I saw this book, and I actually had bought this first, and then I realized this was book 2, so I went and bought this for a good price. If this is just a trilogy, I might be a fool and go get book 3, just because I'm curious if it even gets better, or if it just remains horrible. And then yeah, if book 3 just ends up not being that good, then I could just go sell these back. So yeah, sorry for this review. I feel like this whole review I came out really bitter and angry, which I kind of am, because I took the time to read these books and I just did not end up liking them. So have you read these books at all? Are you curious to read them at all? Or are you totally thrown off by my review? And how do you feel about angel books? Do you recommend any good angel-related books for me? So that's it, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.